I kind of like the SEC having divisions though, and they're bringing in Texas.
Why? Because it's the only
Oklahoma.
chance that Florida has to make an SEC championship.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I really appreciate like not having to play at Alabama every year.
I don't know what I'm doing. This is not the intro. Wait, I mean, you're a Patriots fan. You're kind of like you're kind of not a sadist. You're a masochist. So
Wow.
you could watch the Patriots play football and then punish yourself even more by drinking Heinekens.
Yeah, I was just complaining about to the play call with my dad. You know, like I don't know what's up with McDaniel, man. Like I don't know if he's getting too cute. I don't know what he's doing, but
He stopped drooling. He needs more nicotine.
Yeah,
he needs something.
Listen, it was a good week for Zach Stradamus.
It was.
Good week.
I'm taking the Bucks.
I'm taking the Bucks as well.
If Trevor was actually a Bucks fan, he would say Bucks by 50.
I'm not a fan.
Wait, maybe he is a Bucks fan, and that's why he didn't say that. Because every time he says by 50, any team by 50, they lose. It's practically become my motto this year. I don't believe in love.
I mean, if you're an Eagles fan, you probably should hate yourself because.
What's up, brother? It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Time for a Tuesday stream. Tuesday, let's get this shit rolling. Sorry for cursing. Wings. Welcome back to another episode of the Beer League Football Podcast.
So Trevor gets that? Is that so? Trevor understands where
Dude,
that
I
comes
love
from.
Sketch. I
love sketch too.
I have no idea what it is. No idea.
We're in
What
the
do you mean,
dark.
brother?
Welcome back to another episode of the Beer League Football Podcast. It's about football, but Beer League. I'm your host, Zachary Smith. Beer League Zach on Twitter. I got Motion Twin. Join with me as always is my very good co-host, who's always scary, and his name is Carrie. It's Beer League Carrie. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm just thoroughly confused by everything that you said so far this episode. Like, this is not the intro. What are we doing?
Get ready to be more confused, okay? Next up, we got the man who has plans. He just hasn't figured them out yet. It's Beer League Trev Scott.
Ooh, I like that, Zach. Can you text that to me or DM that to me?
Yeah, I'll DM it to you later.
I like that. I might make that my bio. I'm gonna tweet that one day. I'm doing good, man. I wanted to tell you and Zane something. I had my first birdie this week, so feeling pretty good. And my first meatball sub.
What golf?
So,
What?
yeah.
Okay. What course was it? What course was it?
It was a grandfather of them all, Zane. You know what course
Shalimar Creek.
it was. Shalimar, baby. It was on Easter Sunday.
Central Florida's Augusta.
The Central Florida hidden gem, Shalimar Creek.
That's right. The Augusta of Central Florida.
The Augusta of Fringe Auburndale Golf.
What a place.
Shalimar National.
The memory.
And then a host from Beer League Out of Bounds podcast. He's been joining us this offseason. It's Zane Smith. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. I've got my got the White Claw in hand, of course.
Why is it White Claw every week, Zane?
He's a golfer.
I mean, it wasn't always White Claw.
It's been a lot of White Claw.
He just goes, he's a golfer, obviously.
Yep. Nothing wrong with the stuff you hit the course with. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, so. I'm going to ease you into my beer tonight. There's a description. I'm going to read it out to you and see if you guys want to drink this. Tart and fruity. Our raspberry lemon cider is a boozy spin on a summer classic. You can practically taste the cool shade. This is brewed in St. Petersburg, Florida, Trevor. It's a raspberry lemonade daughters cider. And
Three daughters?
It's a very summery beer. You should get one, Trevor.
Very summery.
You like it. I'm also doing two because I got a small one. I also got a Dale India Pale Ale, which will not be as good as this daughter cider raspberry lemonade, but got to even them out, I guess.
You're double fisting.
Yeah, that's my lineup for the night.
Alrighty.
We haven't heard Zach's or Trev's. What are they drinking?
I was going to let Trevor go first.
I just went to a gas station. I was going to get something pretty boring, but I saw this.
Four Loko.
Happy Thursday.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Happy Thursday. Why wait for Friday? Spiked refresher. I've never seen it before.
Oh, I thought it was a Truly.
And it's bubble free, so you could like chug this thing with ease. It tastes like juice. It's really good.
It's not Truly?
So it's kind of like just a mix. It's not a malt drink then, right?
I don't know, man.
Probably
Spiked
is.
refresher.
What does it say on the bottom? Can you show us the label real quick? No, not
What
the
are you
bottom
looking
of
for,
the
man?
can.
I think it's malt. gotta be
There's no
malt.
way it's malt if it doesn't have. I mean,
4.6.
It's a spiked still refresher. It's probably like a Starbucks drink.
Yeah, it's probably like a vodka cranberry. It's probably just a lot less in it.
It
Probably
doesn't
just a
even
lot
say
less.
what kind of alcohol is in here. In the ingredients, it just says alcohol. Sure, man.
Oh yeah, of course.
Sure,
That's the easiest way to
Four
make
Loko,
it.
dude.
That's the easiest way to make it.
This is a diet for Loco.
A diet for loco.
It's good though. If you see one of these things, you should try it.
A diet for loco. We'll certainly have to break that out during Zach's bachelor party, wherever that might be.
Ooh.
Alrighty. And my beer tonight, because you guys know I'm for the brand.
He's for the brand.
I'm for the brand.
FTB.
I'm having a Lone Star Original.
Are you Lone
Shout
Star?
out to Lone Star Disc.
Hey,
my
that's
disc sponsor.
Texas. That's
Yeah.
Texas.
Is that
This
is that
is
not?
the
Yeah, that's
nation-
Texas, dude.
This is their description. It's the national beer of Texas.
Well, there you go.
Where hey,
Yeehaw.
is that brewed in Austin? I think it is, right? Or Dallas.
I can't read.
Is it an IPA or?
Fort
No,
Worth.
it's
It's DFW.
It is
Fort Worth.
DFW. Well, dude, that's a real good beer. I love Lone Star beer.
Lone Star,
Zach.
baby.
Hey, what is it? Does it say lager on it or cerveza? What is it? What kind of beer?
It's a lager.
That's a lager. That's what I thought. It
Yeah.
tastes like a lager.
Next time we need to see Zane with a local Texas beer on here.
Okay. All right. I promise next time.
And then bring out your cowboy hat too. Come on.
I don't have a cowboy hat.
Yeah, you need to get your ass in gear. Sorry for cursing.
Sorry for
Get the hell out of here. Oh my god.
Alrighty.
I don't even want to know what that's a reference to.
Dude, you do. He's hilarious, dude.
He's funny.
Oh, you gotta watch Sketch, guys. Shout out to Sketch. Okay, so getting things rolling tonight. We're talking about the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Now, obviously, when you're using a term like greatest, there are different criteria you use to measure what is great. I have decided to quantify my criteria so that I can easily defend myself.
We're Mr. Numbers nerd.
What are you drinking?
Which is
again?
why
You made a formula.
I did make a formula. I did
Wow.
make a
Did you
formula.
really? You made a formula?
I made a formula.
And they call me the numbers nerd on this podcast. Jeez.
Listen here, brother.
Shut up.
So I decided to quantify it because I was like, I want to easily be able to defend what I'm going to say on this podcast. And
Sure.
I feel like my criteria are going to be different from everyone else's, but I think that they're fair criteria.
When we see Brady at 9 and like Troy Aikman at 2.
Oh
He
god.
is not at 9.
He is not at 9.
He is at 10, brother.
I will be shocked if Brady's in Zach's top 2, honestly.
That's
Oh,
okay.
God.
Yeah.
That's okay.
We'll see.
You could be wrong. You could be wrong. You don't know.
The list I saw actually had him at 3, believe it or not.
Interesting.
Who was that? Bobby?
That was Bleacher Report had him at 3.
Well, let's Bleacher Report.
Had Tom
engagement
Brady.
farming, probably. Because I bet you ask anyone there, he's in their top 2, if not 1.
This is how good Bleacher Report is. I read an article from them
Well,
today.
It
about
was the
10
top 100. So
They had 10 NFL stars who were going to retire. They said could retire by 2025, and they had Travis Kelce at the front. So I read through this article. It had Travis Kelce and 9 current free agents that are all 35 years or older. Wow, that is a groundbreaking article.
don't you love it? I mean, that's exactly what they.
This
they
is
do.
journalism.
That's right.
Alrighty. So, Is there any news we wanted to cover that happened in the past 2 weeks that we want to talk about before we get started?
Rasheed, right? I mean, you got to talk about
I forgot
what's going
about
on
that.
with KC and Rasheed Rice. I guess the NFL.
I think you mean Henry Ruggs the Fourth.
Yeah, well, now that's a fact now, right? But no, the NFL has refused to make any serious comments on it. So, I mean, do you guys think this is something where he's going to at least receive suspensions or what? I mean, what are we looking at here?
Did you guys see the video?
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It looked like
I think they should be less concerned with I think they should be less concerned with suspension and more concerned with how much time he's going to miss by going to jail or prison. Because the crime he committed is not bad, but him fleeing the police is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And intentionally hiding himself from the police is bad.
Yep.
That actually might end up in a decent prison sentence.
I just want to know, can we go one NFL offseason without a guy getting arrested for some dumb thing? Every year. It's just impossible.
No, that's impossible. I mean, you got
who's the next wide receiver to end up getting arrested?
I mean, Tyreek Hill is in an allegation.
I knew he was going to say Tyreek Hill.
I don't know.
Like Carrie's begging for it right now.
Really?
he's a Dolphins player.
There's already been like 3 Hill allegations this offseason alone. We're only in April.
But it's usually, I mean, whenever we're talking about people getting in trouble like this, it's usually 1 or 2 year players, right? I mean, that's usually who it is. 1 to 2 or 3 year players.
The younger players.
Yeah, because they get all that money and they don't know what the hell to do with it. I actually think that's a good thing about the NIL, to be honest with you, because it's getting them used to the money earlier. And then, by the time they get into the pros, hopefully they don't go in.
I never thought about that. That's a good point.
I think a lot of it's just they don't have good leadership. Like some teams, they have good veteran leaders, take the young guys under the wing, and
that is true. Yeah,
teach them how to use their money.
You think
whatever.
the Chiefs don't? The championship team.
You think Travis Kelce is worried about teaching the younger players how to act this offseason, or is he worried about sitting on?
No, he's not.
Yeah.
And the truth comes out, doesn't it?
But,
who is that leader on that offense? Honestly.
Mahomes, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like the skill players.
Might be Pacheco.
Tony?
Probably Kelsey. Kelsey probably just yells at him about football.
I feel like Kelsey's not a leader.
He's like, I don't care what you do outside of football, but if you suck at football, I'm going to yell at you.
Yeah, he's just like the goofball on the team, I feel like.
Oh, man. Okay. Anything else outside of NFL players in legal trouble?
Did you guys watch the UFL at all?
No, I didn't. Did it start?
I saw clips on TikTok of destroying, kicking off, and stuff.
I know. He missed the field goal.
Yeah,
got a couple Joe Montana comments so far. Derpy Entertainment says Joe Montana and 49ers faithful forever. Says Joe Montana.
It's a fair. I mean,
he's certainly on the list.
I don't know if you're Trevor.
Yeah,
my list.
I'll be very intrigued to see how many players before 1990 Trevor has on his list.
I got 2 at number 10, so.
That's a lie.
Do you want to do honorable mentions first?
No. It's top 10. If you're not top 10, you're not top 10. Nobody cares about number 11.
I'll do some honorable mentions.
Right.
Let me just make sure they're going to be an honorable mention real quick.
Got to calculate.
I think
we're jumping in. We're jumping in.
A couple of my first ones out, and these are going to shock some people. A couple of my first ones out.
John Elway.
John Elway is one of them.
I knew it.
John Elway
right outside
did not make the top 10. Another guy that did not make the top 10 is
don't you say it.
Drew Brees did not.
Don't you say it!
Wow!
Don't you say it, you
Zach.
There's something.
Oh, dude, I want to come through this screen and
I wanna
smack
come.
the shit out of you.
Why? What'd I do?
It's just so wrong. You just did him the dirtiest, bro.
No, it's not dirty.
Oh my god! After everything,
After everything? What do you mean?
after everything he's done in the game,
After everything we've been through.
After everything.
Zach, let's just say, people hate whenever I say hypotheticals on the show.
Yeah.
If Drew Brees was in a different era, let's say the 90s or this current era,
Mm-hmm.
do you think he'd be ranked higher just because of the fact he played in an era with so many great quarterbacks?
Maybe.
I mean,
it's
he's going
tough to say.
I agree with Zach. That's a big maybe.
Zach, can you tell us your formula?
Absolutely. So I have 3 criteria to create greatness. Okay. Number 1, because when I think of greatness, I think of individual excellence. Okay. When I think greatness, I think of individual excellence. So MVPs.
Kobe.
When they're the best player over the course of a season in the NFL, that is greatness. Okay.
That's your criteria? Oh, okay.
Number 2.
There are more. Okay.
Wait,
if you just said offensive MVPs.
Can I just say one thing?
Mm-hmm.
So, Drew Brees not win an MVP. He also had a season he had 5,400 yards, 46 touchdowns, and went 13-3. But because of the era he played, that wasn't good enough to win an MVP.
He was one of the first off. I understand what you're saying. He was one of the first off.
Well, in the MVP, let's be completely honest. The MVP is so same thing in basketball, I guess. The MVP is so subjective. It's so subjective.
Yeah.
I mean, literally just had one of the most controversial MVP picks this past season.
That's because the audience that is able to speak publicly about Twitter is younger than it ever has been before.
Very true.
I think. I don't know.
Number 2, this quarterback, no matter how many MVPs they have won, has had to have won a Super Bowl.
Okay.
They have to have won the big game.
Okay. Well,
so Justin Herbert.
So no Dan Marino. You just got rid of Dan Marino.
That is nuts.
Son of a. I hate you.
For a guy that talks about how Zach comes out and says,
wait. First off, I asked before this podcast happened whether we were talking about greatest or best.
That doesn't. You're literally using synonyms.
Major difference between the two.
No,
greatness is about accolades. Greatness is about accomplishments. Okay. Best is about performance.
It's both.
What? Okay. Where are you getting these definitions? Just out of your head, pulling them out of your head?
Zach Smith brain.
No, because best has nothing to do with the circumstances. Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Be careful.
Right. I shouldn't have made an example, but I give it a best has to do with your talent. Greatness
in
has
my
to do
opinion,
with everything that happens.
In my opinion, I think Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback that's ever played football. But he is not the greatest.
That is not an okay thing to say, Trevor. That is not an okay thing to say. That is ridiculous.
But best is circumstances aside, right?
It's ridiculous.
As we're obviously all going to disagree in our top 10 quarterbacks, we're probably also going to disagree on what greatest quarterback means.
Well, yeah. Yes.
No, just be able to say what makes them great,
Yeah.
Okay.
Greatness means different things to everybody.
That's brutal. You're making me sick.
I'm making you sick.
You are.
I like the Rodgers love though, Zach.
Oh, I like Rodgers. I have nothing against Rodgers.
I think Rodgers is an incredible quarterback.
What's number 3, Zach?
My third, and this has more to do with because I don't want to be criticized for when the MVP. I don't want this list to be criticized for when the MVP was not just a quarterback award. So offensive player of the year has to be included as well. So if you win offensive player of the year, it doesn't get the same on my list. It doesn't mean the same thing as an MVP, but offensive player of the year, producing at such a high level that your best offensive player in the league for that season, I think that matters.
Okay.
So Zach is just basing on accolades, it sounds like.
It sounds like
you're talking about greatness. Okay. Greatness is about record books.
And skill and talent.
You have to have skill to get in the record books.
It's a mixture.
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah.
It's a mixture.
Yeah.
I think it's always a weight of the two things.
So
right?
mine is gonna be like what Zane said. Trevor's year's gonna be more accolades, talent. What is it gonna be?
Mine's not going to be all numbers. I don't think career. I think it's kind of like the LeBron debate and Michael right now, right, guys? I mean, he just surpassed Michael in 30-point-plus games, right, in the NBA.
You only have
but it took him so much longer to do it than Michael did, and so it's one of those things where, yeah, it's cool that he did it, but if we're just talking about the feat itself, it's not as impressive as what Michael did, right? I mean, it's impressive, but it's not as impressive as
yeah. But
Michael did.
if you use that argument, you have to say, well, Michael played against mailmen and milkmen, so like.
But he didn't. We know he didn't, and I don't care
Okay.
what individual game clips.
I don't think
LeBron played against
any
the Bella
footage
brothers,
of
man.
90s basketball.
I don't need to. I've seen enough LeBron flops for my entire lifetime.
You hyping up the
Hey, the
Zella
rules
brothers?
change.
Thiago
If you're not
Splitt,
changing
all
with the
these
rules, then you're not playing to advantage.
So, and I'm not saying LeBron ain't the best player in the game. He is absolutely the greatest right now. But the issue is like greatest playing player right now. I just
maybe 3 years ago.
LeBron is
no. I'm not saying like right now. I'm saying like the greatest.
He's the greatest
that
of
has
his
played
era.
the game, who is still playing the game.
Gotcha.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
And so in my definitions, it's going to be a lot of weighing the amount of time they played the game and what they did in their amount of time playing the game versus what they did over their career. You know, it's going to be a lot of like weighing it back and forth, I guess.
I'll just say a lot of very good quarterbacks only won one Super Bowl. So
yes,
makes it a little easier.
And a lot of bad quarterbacks won one Super Bowl. So it's like
bad quarterbacks
but
won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Eli
Eli Manning,
Exactly.
who is not on my list.
Honorable mention? No, sir.
No, he's not. He's not even an honorable mention. He's not even top 20.
My honorable mentions, as Zach said, John Elway.
Oh, okay.
He won some Super Bowls. I don't think he's that great a quarterback. He's pretty good. He's top 20, but I don't think he's top 10. And my other one, I had Brett Favre.
That's a good one.
Wow, off the
That's a
list.
good honorable.
Gunslinger. That man threw a lot of interceptions. And yes, it was different NFL. And he's, if this was a couple years ago, he'd be up
but
there.
you love Josh Allen. Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, Brett Favre also couldn't run. It's a different NFL. Brett Favre was a great quarterback, but we've had an insane amount of good quarterback play in the 2000s. And Mr. Favre, not a nice guy in general. He's no longer there, but very good quarterback. And I think he had one Super Bowl, correct? Right?
Yeah, he had one Super Bowl.
Yeah. All right. Should we jump into 10 then?
I just want to give a shout out to Lamar Jackson. No, I'm ready.
Beautiful. Why don't you take it away then, Trevor?
All right. Number 10, probably nothing is going to be as shocking as this. I have Johnny Unitas,
At number 10?
A number 10 who played in the 50s. I mean.
At number 10?
Yeah.
Trevor is no value.
At number 10?
Yeah, number 10. Yeah, I like everybody I have over him a lot more.
Okay. Can you tell me why you have him at number 10? Like, go over like what he did?
Does he know?
I'm here solely as respect for like the older generation because he played in the 50s and 60s.
Okay.
I think that like everything is so advanced now. The average quarterback today is better at everything than the best quarterback back then.
Or is that recency bias?
Was he?
A little bit.
Was Johnny Unitas? Was he small?
Was he small?
I think he was 190 pounds.
He was 6'1", 190.
Shout out to Johnny Unitas. There's nothing wrong with being the 10th greatest quarterback of all time.
That's fair. I didn't think you'd have him top 10, so props to you.
I'm surprised you have him as well.
I know. Recent years.
I appreciate you having him, but
yeah, at least you have him there, Trevor. That's progress.
Are we just gonna do one at a time?
Yeah, let's do one at a time. I'll go next. At number 10,
Kind of mad.
I have Terry Bradshaw from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wow.
That is wow.
No, I like that. Cook, Zach.
Why?
Go ahead, keep cooking.
Terry Bradshaw, excellent quarterback. He was on a Steelers team with a great defense.
Great D.
Yeah, he was a pretty good quarterback during his time with the Steelers.
It was a different era, but
What?
to finish your career with 51% completion,
Yeah.
and two more touchdowns and
It's a
interceptions.
different NFL. It's a different
Still
NFL.
it's a
Bro,
70s.
it's Drew
Targeting
Lock.
wasn't a thing back then. You could
He was
hold
just Drew Lock
receivers.
back then.
You could hold receivers. You could target. It was a different NFL.
I just
You
disagree.
killed
Is he not benefited by great team around him though? One of the best defenses.
He
of all
absolutely
time?
was. He absolutely was, but he also won an MVP in 1978. He's a Hall of Famer, 3-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro,
But he won
None of
four
these are
Super
four
Bowls.
Super Bowls.
But he won 4 Super Bowls and only 1 MVP. What does that tell you?
It's carried.
Like, what does that tell you?
I mean, Zach's doing enough accolades, so
He is. That's fair.
I can't follow him.
That tells me that he was a very good quarterback, a good enough quarterback to win an MVP, and that he was the MVP quarterback of a team that won a Super Bowl.
Fair.
All right.
And then did it 3 more times. Alrighty, number 10.
All right, number 10. I get the best dual threat quarterback in the NFL history. Yes, Trevor?
What were we? Wait.
Please say Peyton Manning.
What
That
were
would
we
have been
just
hilarious.
talking about? What conversation were you guys just having?
Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw. He was saying
Oh,
that.
okay, right. I remember. All right, never mind. I'll bring it up later.
Okay.
I get the best dual threat quarterback in NFL history. I got Steve Young, number 10.
That's a good one.
3 Super Bowl wins, 2-time MVP. He got Joe Montana out of time. He was that good. Steve Young was a beast. He would have been amazing in this era with his ability to run and pass. There were some other guys like Tarkenton and a couple of runners, Cunningham, but Steve Young could just do the best of this era. And obviously guys like Lamar, Vick are better runners now, but Young was such a good passer too, along with his running. It was just scary back then. I think to lead
Steve Young?
for a runner that led the NFL in passing touchdowns 4 seasons, Offensive Player of the Year, MVP, 2-time MVP, Super Bowl MVP, 3-time champion. It's pretty good accolades.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Winding back to Terry Bradshaw real quick, because
Okay.
it just made me curious. There's only been 6 quarterbacks to ever win an MVP and a Super Bowl in the same season, and Terry was one of them. So
I did my research, guys.
pretty good.
That's all I'm gonna
It just
say.
made me curious because like how many times does an MVP like go on to win the Super Bowl? Because I remember Mahomes did it in 2022, but before that, I can't even remember.
It's been a while.
I guess. My pick for number 10 is gonna be, and it's probably just a warmness in my heart for this player, is Ken.
Corey Harris?
No, Ken Stabler.
What the hell are we doing?
I love Ken Stabler. Did you just say who?
Yeah. Who?
Okay. He had a 60% completion percentage.
Wait, I have
Yeah.
a question. Did he go to Miami?
No.
Okay.
No, he played for Alabama actually.
What year did he play?
For Alabama?
He
Anything.
He played in the 60s for Alabama. 60, 65, 66, 67.
Yeah, he was in the 70s. He was a 70s guy.
Yeah.
70s.
And yeah,
and 80s.
and this is kind of like the Terry Bradshaw thing. Like, yeah, I mean, his TD interception ratio is not good at all. Career, he went 194, 222. But that's because he had a lot of later seasons, like whenever he played with New Orleans, where he was just backing up. Not very good. But throughout his entire career at Oakland, all through the 70s, it was pretty fantastic. So I think if you get rid of, obviously, that 9-18 season at New Orleans, I think that sways things a bit.
What's his name again?
But I mean, can we look
Stabler.
at Ken Stabler? Can we look real quick at when he started? So when he started in 73, he had been in the league for 3 years already. He led Oakland to an 8-2-1 season. Then they went 11-2, 10-3, 11-1, 10-3. They had 2 mediocre seasons back to back, and then he got traded. He went to Houston after that. So, I mean, he did pull off one of the coolest feats with Oakland. He won them a Super Bowl. So, and was dubbed obviously the Snake. I think anybody, he won the NFL MVP in 1974, the Offensive Player of the Year in 1974. He was a first-team All-Pro in 1974.
74. He had a great season.
Yeah, so Pro Bowl. He was featured in 73, 74, 76, and 77. He was the passing touchdown leader in 74 and 76. Completion percentage leader in 73 and 76. And the passer rating leader in 76 as well. I mean, so he's done. I mean, when we talk about accolades and statistics, I mean, he had some pretty incredible seasons.
Yeah, he had a great career.
I think he's my number 10. And again, I'm not saying that there aren't. Okay, this is probably bad. This probably hurts my case a little bit. It's a little bit of a heartfelt pick for Ken Stabler for me.
Shocker.
Looking at it, it's not a bad pick. I wouldn't put him in the top 10, but he's probably 15 to 20.
So you know what? At least you didn't put probably the most overrated quarterback of all time, who was, I can't remember if he's before Stabler or after, Jim Plunkett. That guy was the Eli Manning of there. He was ass. He won 2 Super Bowls, so everybody thinks he's great because he balled out in the playoffs. The rest of his career, he went 72 and 72, had 34 more interceptions and touchdowns. He was awful, but a good playoff run. Jim Plunkett, most overrated quarterback of all time, Raiders fans.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Well, there are a lot of there are a lot of players like that. Like if you look at, I mean, I used to pick my people. I used Bleacher Report's top 100, and then I just picked the ones that I liked, like that I think are the greatest. Some of the ones in there are straight up trash, but for some reason, because their team was good, they received these accolades that Zach's talking about.
Like Troy Aikman?
Well, him. There's this other guy. Where is he? Bobby Lane. He had a 49% completion percentage.
He was really old, though.
Way worse TD interception ratio.
He was really old.
Okay, but he was bad.
I feel like every era gets more, like if you're in the 40s and 50s, it's more acceptable than like the 70s and 80s. And then obviously the 90s, 2000s is when it starts to get.
That's fair. And to Zach's point, I think that is a fair point that you actually made about defense. You can actually, you could actually tackle people and you could actually hit them like, the coffin passes over the middle. Like wouldn't make those passes. Nowadays, everybody does because you can't hit the guy. So I think Zach's point stands to reason a little bit.
They call it a hospital pass.
Yeah.
Because you get a free ride to the hospital.
With him having a 51% percentage completion rating, I feel like that's not absolutely horrible. There's a lot worse guys than that, especially on the Bleacher Report top 100. So,
all right, number 9.
I did want to give a shout out to Otto Graham as well. 10 seasons, 10 title appearances. I got really confused when they started saying stuff about like the AFL and stuff, so I stopped reading. But 10 title games in 10 seasons is pretty good if you're a starting quarterback, whoever you are. Number 9, I got John Elway. I guess like he's the only reason the Broncos franchise is relevant before Manning. He didn't give Tebow a chance, so I almost kicked him off my list, but I kept him at number 9.
Okay, here's where we're starting in that conversation. Like, When do interceptions matter? Because Elway finished his career with 300 touchdowns, 226 interceptions, and he played in the 90s. And I know, Trevor, you don't like Josh Allen for that. So does that matter for you with Elway that he threw 225 interceptions in his career and he never threw more than 27 touchdowns? He only hit 4,000 yards once.
That's a fair point.
He was a runner. White boy with a little habanero. He could move. He could get out of there.
He never had more than 300 yards in a season.
All right. What did you say?
His career high was 300 yards in one season.
That doesn't help my case. But the only reason the Broncos were relevant, I said that already, that was a major point stressed in the slight research I did on John Elway.
Slight research.
Started as a rookie. I think I remember that. He has a ring, right?
He's got a lot of rings.
He's got two rings, Elway. He
Let's
won
just
one
say this.
early, and
this
then
is
won one
a
late.
respectful.
Oh, that's
move.
right. He appeared in 5 Super Bowls. He didn't win 5 Super Bowls. He won 2 out of the 5. You're right.
Well, while you might think this is high for John Elway, I have a lot of people ahead of him with 1 Super Bowl ring, 0 Super Bowl rings.
Okay.
Should not be over autogram.
John Elway should not be over Otto Graham.
Yep.
Dude, can't you even show me an autogram?
You have
I don't
autogram
even know.
on your
Go look him up. Go
Is
look
it
up the
possible to see
YouTube.
one?
Go look him up on YouTube.
But they are.
We gotta
there.
play.
They
We gotta
exist.
play some clips. We gotta
Do
play
they
some
exist?
clips.
You're gonna get copyrighted.
Yeah.
How are we gonna get copyrighted for clips of Otto Graham?
The state's gonna come after you.
I'm just
From
wondering.
back in the 50s?
I'll talk,
I think
I'll talk
copyright is over at that point.
I'll talk about autogram later. Don't worry.
Okay. Alrighty, at number 9, it was tough between number 9 and number 8. It was really a toss-up, but taking a second look, I'm sticking with my original decision to go with Johnny Unitas at number 9.
Oh my God.
Very influential in the move away from a running NFL to a passing NFL in terms of a guy who threw the ball relatively consistently instead of having 8 tight ends in there and a fullback and 2 running backs. Start to spread the field out a little more. Very influential, obviously very successful as well. He was a 1-time Super Bowl champion, a 3-time NFL champion, a 5-time All-Pro, 10-time Pro Bowler, 3-time AP MVP. So just a super successful player.
He died on the 1-year anniversary of 9/11.
That's really, yeah, he did.
Damn.
At age 69. Shout out, baby. Let's go.
Interesting.
But yeah, Johnny Unitas at 9.
All right.
Damn, you guys are doing Johnny dirty. Okay. I picked you guys are gonna laugh at this. I just know it. Because you guys laughed at Ken Stabler, and now I know
Deshaun Kaiser.
no. What did you say?
Mac Jones.
Michael Vick.
What in the hell are we
take
doing?
it out.
Hey,
No.
Michael
on.
Vick. So real quick, I know
He's
you
This is
a
guys.
the
top
worst
10 Madden
pick
player.
I've
No,
ever
no,
seen.
no.
By the way,
Come on.
out of any list, this is the worst
You
pick I've
gotta
ever
you
seen.
gotta hear me out. Can you?
No.
can you-
He's not
why
even better than Lamar.
Why can't you hear me out?
hear him out.
All right.
Hear me out.
You get 30 seconds, Zane. 30
I got
seconds.
30 seconds. Easy. Okay. Guy, notable statistics. He had a 54% completion percentage, 78 touchdown passes, 52 interceptions. And that's in such a short period of time, right? You guys forget that he wasn't playing very long because of the dog fighting scenario, right?
Okay.
Whenever he got obviously thrown in jail. If
Prison.
that doesn't happen, he becomes one of the best players ever to play the game. First player to throw and rush for 1,000 yards in the same season. That was in 2006. He had 47.6 career rushing yards per game average, and that was first all-time for a quarterback.
That's
Was.
not bad. Putting him in the all-time 10 is crazy, but I didn't know that stuff about him. And
78 touchdowns, 52 interceptions.
right, but his career, he
Let me
didn't
tell
get
you,
all of his
brother.
career.
It was
This
this
list
big.
is absolute dog shit.
It
Sorry
was
for
this
cursing.
big.
Sorry for cursing.
It was this big. It was this big.
Michael Vick
What?
was a great player, But Michael Vick,
Thank you.
No,
Thank you,
no.
Asai. Thank you,
No,
Asai.
no,
Michael
Yeah.
Vick, really
not in the
was
top
his thing.
10 all time.
Michael Vick in Madden made people
Crazy.
think he's a better player than he was.
No,
Just 'cause he's so good.
Go
at
Same
back
thing
and watch-
with
go back
same
and
thing with
watch highlights.
CJ2K.
Go
Same
back
thing
and
with
watch
CJ2K.
highlights. You're wrong.
All
It's
right.
the top 10 quarterbacks of all time, and Zane just put Michael Vick
At number
on the
9.
list. Is
Number
this a
9.
Madden list?
Number 9. Number 9.
He shouldn't be in the top 10.
He shouldn't be in the top
period.
25.
Is
I actually
Michael
probably
Vick
agree with that.
greater than Ken Stabler? Yes.
No.
All right. All right, number 9.
It's not
close.
April 1st anymore, sir.
I'm actually
I'm with
close to
Asai.
Zach on one.
Asai's with me.
It's Esai. Get it right.
Yeah. I got
Esai.
Drew Brees at number 9. Drew Brees, as I said earlier, he was in an era with a lot of great quarterbacks, only had one
was.
ring.
Guys.
He has the record for most consecutive games with a touchdown pass in his career. He's up there. I forget where he's ranked, but he's up there in yards, touchdowns, all that. He was a great quarterback, but he also played a lot of years. Drew Brees was great, and
Isn't longevity a great thing to have?
yeah, but it's not everything.
like you're penalizing him for it.
I really wish we could have seen Drew Brees in today's NFL.
Why?
He'd be easily the best quarterback in today's NFL.
Fuck no.
What?
Sorry for cursing.
Drew Brees would easily be the best quarterback in the NFL. He's in the current NFL.
Absolutely not.
What is
Maybe
happening
with
right
a
now?
fountain
What?
of youth. You're talking like now,
No,
like at his age.
Not current Drew Brees. He's
Oh.
wheelchair. I'm talking like
Okay, so he'd be better than
So you
Mahomes,
meant
right?
if magic existed. You meant if
Yes.
magic existed.
if I had one wish, I would go back in time and make Drew Brees be born like 15 years later. That would be my one wish for everything.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
pretty weird, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Drew Brees would not be.
What
the
is
best
happening?
quarterback.
This is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
You had him at
Okay.
11.
I can't believe you guys had him out of the. I can't believe anybody has Drew Brees outside the top 10. Just gonna say.
I had him in top 10.
I thank
right.
you, Carrie. I thank you. Thank you.
He's up there.
All right, number 8.
There.
I just want to make a quick edit to my list because I've been watching some autogram highlights. My brother
Michael
is slinging
Vick.
it.
Michael
His
Vick.
brother is slinging it.
Ah.
So I'm kicking John Elway out for not liking Tim Tebow, and I'm putting autogram at number 9. Although his release is crazy. He looks like he's throwing a baseball. He's like way back.
Really? Sidearm?
No,
He's
it's
just
just a
like
big
this.
long windup.
Oh,
I have
big
a
one.
crazy autogram stat, which I will share with you guys later.
I feel like I should have included him in my top 10 now.
Just wait.
At number
Why don't we
8,
show? How come we can't show footage?
Don't worry about it. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Look it up after the Zane.
Okay, I'll watch it while you guys are talking.
Smart.
Who's 8?
number 8, I got Tua.
You're lying.
No, I'm lying. But number 8 is really where it starts to get fun. I'm very excited to talk about 8 all the way to 1. But at number 8, I got Dan Marino. Sometimes
He
the
was
circumstances are out of your hand. Sometimes
Respect.
you don't win the big game. There's a lot of guys on this list with only 1 Super Bowl who are retired. And
2 times. I'm sorry.
what's up?
I'm watching autogram right now.
Right? He's pretty.
That's incredible.
But he's like that. I like Dan Marino, though. You know, a lot of success, a lot of touchdown passes, a lot of yards. He was slinging that thing all over the field. A long career. It's hard to be good for a long time in the NFL. And so I got him at number 8.
Okay.
All right.
All right, number 8. Number 8, I got the guy that just beat out Johnny Unitas for this spot. So we're going at number 8, going with Bart Starr.
That's a good one.
Bart Starr.
I left
Who
him
is
out.
that?
I left him out.
Bart Starr
Tell him
is
about
a
Did he
it.
play
Zach.
with
two-time
Bart Starr?
Super Bowl champion.
Quick question, Zach.
Yeah,
Do you have other Packer quarterbacks ahead of him? Or is he
I have other
Yeah.
Packers quarterbacks ahead of him.
you do?
You do?
Yes, I
All
do.
right.
He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion, a 5-time NFL champion, the 1966 AP MVP, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, one-time All-Pro, 4-time Pro Bowler. This guy was just a consistent winner. Incredible quarterback, and what really started, I guess, generationally great quarterbacks in Green Bay. He's just a great player. It was really close between him and Johnny Unitas, but I ended up going with him.
Okay.
Same?
So I mean, I get kind of where Zach's coming from with a lot of these picks. A lot of them have won a lot of Super Bowls. I don't think Super Bowls are a good. I don't think they're a good. What do you call it? A good
Thing.
bellwether for whether or not the player is, great. I think you can have. I think, for instance, if Brock Purdy had won the Super Bowl, does that put him even close to the conversation? No, I don't think so. So, anyway, my number 8, and this is, I think, a solid pick, is Steve Young.
Okay.
Steve Young, obviously, one
First
of the
valid
best.
one yet.
I'm sorry.
Your first good one yet.
Yeah, good job.
Wow, that's
Takes
really,
a good one.
that really hurts. So I mean, he was just fantastic. He was amazing. He had almost nearly a 65% completion rating, which out of all the people we've named, I think is the highest, right? Out of all the people that have been said, he had 232 passing touchdowns, 107 interceptions. He actually holds the NFL record when it comes to rating. Over his career, he had 96.8 rating, which is insane. And he also holds a record in 43 rushing touchdowns. I think that got beat, right? 43? Didn't that get beat out by somebody recently?
I don't know. Probably Jalen Hurts with the butt pushing.
Maybe. No, I don't think he has 43. But
Zach,
anyway, he had 7. What?
Do you agree with my earlier that Steve Young is the best dual threat quarterback in NFL history, or no?
He's definitely one of the best. Do I think he is the best? I think if you take Steve Young and you take I think if you take Steve Young and you put him up against Patrick Mahomes, I think Patrick Mahomes, like head on head, is better.
Well, I wouldn't say Mahomes is a dual threat.
Didn't Aaron Rodgers lead the league in rushing one year?
Probably.
For quarterbacks?
Like
I don't
early
think
on
so.
in his career.
Like rushing yards or
It would have had to have been really
Rushing
early on
yards for
because
quarterbacks.
it would have had to have been
do
really
the
early
discount
on.
double check celebration whenever he ran it in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Jets Nation. There you go, bud. A normal answer. I love that. That's hilarious.
Aaron
So
Rodgers,
I think
369 was his most he ever had this season.
But I think Steve Young, again, like Kerry said, I think he was one of the best dual threat quarterbacks ever to play the game.
I agree.
So I think his greatness speaks for itself.
All right. My number 8.
All right.
Time for me to get some hate because I know I will for this one.
Let's
Not
hear
from you, but whenever this gets posted on Twitter. Number 8, Patrick Mahomes. He's on track to be way up there, but he still hasn't played a full career yet. And the rest of these guys.
What is he missing? Passing yards?
He's played, 5 seasons?
And that's
Longevity is the
keep
thing.
going.
If Patrick Mahomes just, let's say he forgets how to throw a football the rest of his career, just throws like 30 interceptions every season, would you still put him top 3 all time? If he's just like
top what all time?
Top 3 all time, top 5.
I don't have a top 3 all time.
But I'm saying a lot of people do. If he just like goes out next year, well, there's Kelsey out there somewhere, 11 touchdowns, 46 interceptions. What happens?
Okay, well, what is this, 8?
Yeah, 8.
I'm curious to see who you have at 7 and 6.
All right. Trevor, 7.
At 7, I got, the guy that really made jeans seem cool through my adolescence. That's Brett Favre,
I love it.
He held a lot of records for a long time. They got broken by guys who are still higher on my list, but Brett Favre came in the NFL and he did a lot. He won. I was surprised. I could have swore he won more than one ring, but he won one ring.
Yeah.
Slinging that thing all over the place. I got him at number 7.
All righty. My number 7 and number 6 were close. Surprisingly close on my algorithm. Okay. The algorithm states that Steve Young is the 7th best quarterback in NFL history.
God trust. Are you drinking milk out of that can, Trevor?
No.
No, it's
That
water.
would be impressive. I mean, you gotta trust the algorithm, right? Zach?
I mean, basically everything that everyone's already said. Fantastic player, very good dual threat quarterback.
He's right.
Won
It's a different
few
NFL.
Super Bowls, couple MVPs. Great quarterback.
Brett Favre played 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also sucked for the last 2 years. The Jets, Vikings.
Yeah. Those are not
He
the
was
best
pretty good with the
Nah,
Vikings.
The Vikings.
No, I remember
when the kicker got hurt.
I went to a Patriots game when Favre was on the Vikings at Gillette or Foxborough, and like he got hurt like in the third quarter, and they had to cart him off. And the entire stadium was just applauding, cheering, going crazy. It was great. It's like fuck Brett Favre. Great time.
Just because you Boston fans are just ridiculous.
The worst people on planet
You
Earth.
guys are the second worst fan base on the history of
Philly's
fan
worse. Come on.
Philly is worse. That's why I said second.
I like it.
That's why I said second. But I'm gonna pick Patrick Mahomes as number 7. I think it's fair. Someone said in the comments, like if his career ended today, that makes sense. And it does. I mean, it just does. If you just look at his career right now, he's had 6 seasons in the NFL, I believe, or 7, and he's had he's 3-time Super Bowl winner, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, 2-time NFL MVP. He won the Offensive Player of the Year in 2018. He's got a touchdown interception ratio that would make everybody else on our lists blush. 219-63.
Not everybody.
Yeah, not everybody.
A lot of people.
Everybody.
And then he has a career passer rating of 103. So if his career ended today, hypothetically, he would break the record for passer rating in the NFL. So, yeah, that's pretty impressive.
But again, it's also different NFL today than it was previously.
Yeah.
You play defense.
I agree.
You can't even tackle him next year. They're going to put flags on him in 3.
Hip drop. The hip drop tackle. Oh, my God. It's called a tackle.
All right.
Alrighty.
My number 7. And this is one that probably will be changed in recent histories. I think Mahomes will probably pass this guy, but I still got Dan Marino, number 7. Yes, he doesn't have a Super Bowl, but it's a team sport. This man, and we're talking about guys like John Elway, who had as many interceptions as touchdowns. But we had a guy, Dan Marino, in 1984, had 5,000 yards, 48 touchdowns. Dan Marino was an absolute beast. He's the utter proof that rings aren't everything. If
I agree if we're talking about that.
If he had 2 rings, I think he would be easy top 5 at worst, if not top 3.
Agreed, Carey.
Beast.
Yes.
I agree.
And he's one of the only 2 players to ever have a perfect season, a perfect regular season.
What?
Did he?
No.
As a quarterback, yeah.
No, he didn't.
I don't think he did.
That was not true.
That was a different
Dan
player.
Marino?
That was a different player.
That was like the 60s.
Yeah, that was when the Dolphins had a perfect
Remember,
season.
that was like 1960.
No, the Dolphins had a perfect season with Dan Marino.
No, it was 1960.
Yes,
no,
they
never
bro.
did. Dude,
The
Trevor,
best
I'm
season with
looking
Dan
at
Marino was 14-2.
Trevor, I'm looking at his regular season record. You're wrong.
April Fools. Got you guys.
It is April 2nd, but sure.
Oh, double April Fools.
Tuesday.
Yeah, Dan Marino, absolute legend. 7.
That was when you're thinking of when the Dolphins had the perfect season.
He doesn't know anything about the NFL.
Yeah, see, I was born in 98. I don't know,
Alrighty.
Number 6.
Number 6, Trev.
6 and 5. I don't even know which way to go with this. Give me like 2 seconds to think about this.
1, 2.
All right. Right now at number 6, I got Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
But if he does anything this year, like even wins one more playoff game, he'll probably be at number 5.
All right.
Okay. Trevor, you're 100% correct. Patrick Mahomes is the 6th best quarterback of all time as of right now. He definitely has the ability to move way up the list, potentially even contending for the 1 or 2 spot. But as of right now, he is the number 6 best of all time.
Is there any chance Carson Wentz, challenges Mahomes for a starting job this year? Now that Wentz
maybe. But just real quick to go over what he's done so far. Zane already said it. 3-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time AP MVP, the 2018 Offensive Player of the Year. Every Super Bowl that he has won, he was the MVP of that Super Bowl.
That's pretty impressive.
That's huge.
Yeah. So definitely has a chance to move up. But as of right now, he is number 6.
Okay. I actually love the fact Carrie and me, man. I hope our lists look the same all the way up because it.
I hope
they weren't even close on the back.
It certainly.
Yeah,
like
I don't want to be close with you.
No. The 9 and 10 were different. 9 and 10 were different.
My
But
God.
Dan Marino is, in my opinion, the 6th greatest quarterback of all time. Dan Marino, he had 59.4% completion percentage, 420 touchdowns to 252 interceptions, which is just incredible. 420. He won the most valuable player in 1984, offensive player of the year again in 1984, comeback player of the year in 1994. We won't do Walter Payton Man of the Year because I think that's just about giving back. And then obviously 5-time NFL passing leader. That's huge. 3-time NFL passing touchdown leader. That's also huge. So, yeah.
All right. Number 6 for me. I got Aaron Rodgers. Which has anybody said him yet?
No.
Nope.
No. Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. Doesn't turn the ball over. He doesn't always have the best teams. And, even though it turned out to be the right decision and, drafting Jordan Love, he could have used some more weapons in Green Bay. And he might have a chance to win the Super Bowl. But, hey, they got a franchise quarterback now. So they're good.
I don't know.
But Aaron Rodgers, absolutely amazing. I feel like he kind of got, overshadowed there for a while, having, near the end of Manning in his era and obviously Brady. And I feel like people didn't really notice Rodgers as much till he kind of get into the weird guy he is now. It was kind of his last 2 seasons. People were like, oh, this guy's one of the greatest of all time. I think how many MVPs? He has 4 MVPs. He only has 1 Super Bowl, but Aaron Rodgers, incredible quarterback. And I don't know where he is all time in touchdown interception ratio, but he got to be up there pretty high. I think he's about
he had that one season that was nuts.
Yes.
Every pick he threw was literally a drop or a tipped pass.
Yeah, he had what? He had 85 touchdowns to 9 interceptions in 2021. He had 2 interceptions in 2018. He is probably the best quarterback of all time at taking care of the ball. Okay. And I'm excited to see him hopefully healthy this year. See if he can make a run at it. And you never know. Maybe we'll get higher on this list. We'll see. All right. Top 5?
Number 5.
There you go.
We have Joe Montana.
Interesting.
Joe Montana doesn't have the great body of work. Joe Montana has 4 Super Bowl rings. I like that.
Montana?
All these guys who have thrown the ball all over the field for a long time, who have thrown a lot of touchdowns. To be a great quarterback, you got to be a really good quarterback. I'm not saying that Joe Montana's not. And I'll tell you, Joe Montana is the perfect name for a California quarterback, just like Dan Marino is for a quarterback in Miami.
Would it be like Joe California?
No.
Is it Montana, like the state of Montana?
I don't know. That doesn't sound. I don't know. It just sounds cool to me. But yeah, I got him at number 5. This guy's like 20,000 passing yards for his career. Like,
your explanations are just terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, but like,
I don't get that. That just doesn't make sense. Why is he number 5?
I started sweating a lot in like the past like 10 minutes. I don't know why. 40,000 yards, right?
Do you know he never threw a touchdown in the Super Bowl? 122 interception. 122 passes, 0 interceptions in the Super Bowl.
It's pretty good, especially because that's typically where you play your best defenses.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he played in the 80s. He played in the 80s.
Yeah,
He did
80s and early 90s.
Defenses
He did-
win championships, especially
And-
back then,
He had a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio back then.
for sure.
Yeah, he's a really good quarterback. Okay.
Tom Brady has 650 touchdowns. Joe Montana has 270.
Yeah, because it was a different NFL, and Tom Brady played for like 46,000 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what makes them? How did they score then? Joe Montana.
What do you mean?
Running back?
Not that much better.
Okay, no. This is just simple, straight facts. Is they threw the ball a lot less.
So what makes you so great about giving the ball to another person?
What are you talking about?
Are you
Saying,
serious?
getting it and then giving it to another guy to go score.
Trevor's making like Zane look better and better as this podcast goes on.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Trevor. That just doesn't make sense. I should look like the idiot.
I mean, he's top 5 all time, like the 5th greatest quarterback all time. He only threw 270 touchdowns in his career.
And that was the 80s.
Is that great? That's
That was
not
the
great
80s.
to me. That's not great.
That was much
Okay.
lower scoring.
Don't
period.
talk to me about stats. Did you watch the game or not?
I
Trevor?
did not watch the game. I can assure you I did not watch the game. But dude, 270. I mean, how much does Peyton have? How much does like Aaron Rodgers?
They
have?
all
That's
played
an
within
easy
the modern
size.
era, though. You're comparing modern era football to
Okay.
like 80s football.
Okay, so when they go up against each other head to head, the modern quarterback and the because quarterback doesn't mean passer. Quarterback just means the quarterback. It's your
I
position,
agree.
it's
That's
your
why I
leader.
had Michael Vick on my list. So
When these guys go head to head, I'm giving it to the guy that passes instead of the guy that hands it off.
Okay, that's
but why
fine.
not give it to the guy that runs the ball? Like you're making no sense. It depends on the weapons and the team they have around them just as much.
What does Joe Montana's greatness?
No, just the quarterback's ability. What if they don't? Okay, so if you take Joe Montana and you plop him into the body of a quarterback nowadays, he would just as easily have more touchdowns than it. I mean, he would have way more touchdowns than he did back then.
Man, Brady played like Brady.
Yes.
Brady
That's
played
obvious.
Like,
That is such an obvious statement.
Montana only played.
Then why did he only
192.
have 273 when it was his?
Because he only played 190.
Because it was in the 80s. We're talking about different eras. We're talking
Okay,
They
about
but
also
if he was
played-
such like a mega, like we can score with this guy.
Well, they
whenever we want,
also
why did
played
they hand
fewer
the ball
games
off?
as well.
No, but one game. But he had a lot of injuries, so he only
The
played.
quarterbacks
109
back
games.
then gave the ball to the running backs because the running backs were better.
no. Hmm.
I unfortunately can't argue with someone that like wasn't from that era. Which
And you
none
need
of us
really,
were
to be
ever,
honest, back then you needed like one great player.
We
on
should
top.
bring your dad on this
Like,
podcast, Trevor. Bring your dad on this podcast to argue for you.
Not to be a jerk, and I don't want to go into this, but I just kind of feel
That's
like saying
Nation
it.
is exactly right, by the way. I just want to point that comment out. It's 100% true. Running backs used to carry the ball a lot more. It used to be more workhorses. Nowadays, and I think it was Dad, whenever we were watching an NFL game, he said you would never see that in the past. You know how they do this, Trevor? They go and, they tap like, hey, get me out of the game. You would never see that back in the day.
Well,
Yeah, you get knocked out, they get the smelling salts out. You go, and you wake back up. You get
You're
back
dead
out
by
there. You don't
23.
remember the game the next day, but you were out there.
That's
there
right.
are 2, 3, maybe 4 guys in the NFL today that are as good as Jerry Rice.
Thank you,
Joe
Super
Montana
Jacks.
got to throw.
What?
Super Jack's exactly right.
That's wild.
Now they
Joe
throw the ball
Montana got
50
to throw
times a
to.
game. Yes, and this is
Jerry
illustrated
Rice had to
perfectly.
use Stickum to compete.
This
He
is
couldn't catch
exactly.
the ball.
Yeah.
This is just recency bias with Trevor.
No,
You can't argue against
100%.
it.
100%.
He will
All
argue against his
Tyreek
error.
Hill is as good or better. Justin Jefferson is as good or better.
I'm not arguing that. Okay, not arguing that. Period. The receivers weren't as talented.
I just
back
think
then.
Super Jacks is exactly right. They throw the ball 50 times a game. That is just again, it has to also do with what the coaches do, right?
Jerry Rice is the
They
best
weren't
receiver.
game planning to throw the ball 50 times a game.
But now your best players are your quarterbacks and your receivers. It's better to throw the ball more times a game.
Yeah. Nowadays it is. Why? Because it's way easier to make those passes.
The defenses aren't as good. That's the whole reason why.
I don't
No,
agree
it's
with
not
that
even
at all.
defenses aren't as good. It's
I
Trevor!
don't agree with that one bit.
No
the fact
shit,
that
you
Secondary
don't.
sucked back then.
I'm so happy we're having this conversation because I'm about to piss so many people off in my next pick.
And so
defense,
are the quarterbacks, dude. We're not
secondary
okay.
sucked
Okay,
back
listen.
then?
There are superstars at every position now. There were not back then.
Are you kidding me? Defenses
No,
are
the
terrible
athletes
today.
are way
Even
better.
go back to
today.
the
They're better football
2000s.
players.
The defense of the 2000s would have killed you versus defenses today. 90s?
No.
All these bitches say would
Okay.
be dead.
No.
Okay,
See,
what-
I actually think
All wide receivers be
Carey's-
whining.
I disagree with that. Carey's talking about like these players are better versus
Super
these
Jacks
players.
is
I'm not
correct.
saying that. It's just because of the difference in the rules and the game itself. The game is not what it used to be, right? You are not allowed to
different
do
game
things that you
altogether.
used to do. And so it makes it harder for defenses to play as hard as they can, right? Because they are afraid of A, getting fined, B, getting penalized. And that is the reason.
There
Right?
ain't nobody from 30 years ago that can guard Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill.
Dude, if Bernard Pollard was in this league today, he'd be in
Oh,
jail. by
You
the
think
second
Bernard Pollard can guard Tyreek Hill?
quarter. Dude, put Tyreek Hill in an ambulance by the second quarter.
Brian Dawkins. He could
Goodness,
kill
all right.
people. Actually kill people. Anyway,
Yes, Super Jacks
All
is
right.
right. Super Jacks is right. Super Jacks is right.
to announce my next pick, I'm going to take a shot, say the name, and then just listen to the screams and crying
Tom
of children.
Brady.
I gotta pee.
At number 5, Brett Favre.
I'm glad you took a shot because you're about to get punched in the face. No, I'm just kidding.
Brett
Right.
Favre is number 5 best.
I just
quarterback
did.
of all time.
Why? Can you explain to me why?
Absolutely.
Let's hear it. Zach loves
3-time MVP in an era where there was a lot of good quarterbacks. He played in the Manning and Brady era. He played when Breeze was still in the NFL. He played in a great era of quarterbacks,
But
and
I'd
he
say
won
he
3
was.
MVPs.
But I'd say he was
He
the best.
also
He was best before those guys were. Like Favre at his peak was the end of the '90s, which Manning was just starting out. Brady wasn't there. Breeze started early 2000.
Agreed.
When did he win his MVPs?
he won his MVP in 95, 96, 97.
That's all before
Okay,
that.
so that just negates your point completely.
Yeah.
Sadly,
Agreed.
that one is. Because none of those guys were in the league then. Manning was.
Agreed.
When did Manning start?
Manning was
Not
late.
until 2000, right?
No, Manning was like 90.
99.
It was late. He sucked his first year too. He started in '98 and he threw 28 interceptions his rookie year.
There you go.
Led
So
the
he
league
won
in
the-
interceptions.
So
There's a lot of guys that did that.
Invalid. He did win 3 MVPs, but it's before all those guys were in the league.
Finished second in MVP voting in 2002, third in 2003. Or no, second in 2002, third in 2001.
I
Sorry.
just don't think that's a good
Who
pick.
is, I'm trying to think, who is the best two quarterbacks in the late '90s? Young and Favre, pretty much, because Montana was done by then. Yeah,
Yeah, Montana was 80.
I'd have
wasn't
to go back and look.
I think it was
Let me-
Young.
let me
I
see.
think it was Young and Favre.
he? Yeah. Is it my turn?
Do you have any more explanations there?
Yeah, you. Is that it?
He won 3 MVPs, a Super Bowl, won an Offensive Player of the Year. Was throwing for 4,200 yards as a 40-year-old man with 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions as Minnesota's quarterback.
Okay.
Longevity is a thing. And that was still before they made the receivers super untouchable. So I think that's super impressive.
Yeah.
And it's what my algorithm said. So
I just think it's not worth. I think it's worth the honorable mention. I agree with Carrie. It's not worth the top 10.
No, I can see late. I just don't see top 5. But
it's my algorithm.
yeah, gotta trust your algorithm.
I'll give you this. I could have put him at 9 or 10 on my list. I could have put him at 9 or 10. I'm sorry. So mine is Johnny Unitas. So Johnny Unitas at number 5.
Same. Listen, I have him on my list. There's a reason he's not higher.
And you know what, Zane? I have him at number 5 as well.
Thank you.
What are you guys doing?
Johnny U, baby, the golden arm. So
he was literally not even the best quarterback of his era.
Who was?
Bart Starr. They played against each other.
Come on, man. So you have Bart Starr and you have Johnny Unitas. You've got one guy literally nicknamed the Golden Arm.
I don't give a shit about nicknames. My nickname could be the Golden Penis. Sorry for cursing. Sorry, brother. But I don't care. Okay?
But
no.
Just because you have no.
It doesn't matter that they nicknamed me something.
You're just wrong. If Patrick Mahomes loses to Lamar Jackson, it isn't because Patrick Mahomes is a worse quarterback. If Patrick Mahomes loses to Jordan Love, it's not because he's a worse quarterback than Jordan Love. That's just, I'm sorry. So if we look at his highlights and awards, he was Super Bowl champion, so Super Bowl number 5. He won three times in the NFL. He won 3 NFL championships before they joined, 1958, 1959, and 1968. He won 3-time most valuable player in the NFL, the 59, 64, 67. He was 5-time first team All-Pro, 3-time second team All-Pro.
So first off, this
10-time. Now listen, I'm not done. 10-time Pro Bowler. He's 4-time NFL passing yards leader, 4-time passing touchdowns leader, 2-time NFL passer rating leader. You tell me, is Bart Starr beat that?
Zane,
you were all about accolades.
He doesn't beat it. He doesn't beat it if we're talking about best. I agree with you. Johnny Unitas is a better quarterback, but this is not about best. This is about greatness.
That just doesn't
Zach, we literally talked about this earlier. Greatness is different for every
matters
person.
when it comes to greatness. Winning
were talking
matters.
About accolades. Those are accolades.
Yeah.
Winning matters when you're talking about greatness. Why is Johnny Unitas getting beaten consistently by another quarterback?
He's 4 championships.
If we're comparing the greatness, no, shut up. If we're comparing the greatness,
look at that.
We're comparing the greatness of a Patrick Mahomes and a Josh Allen. I think personally, Josh Allen is a better quarterback. That's my personal opinion. But Patrick Mahomes is a greater quarterback. He has done more in his career. He has won 3 Super Bowls.
I don't know. Zach is completely missing this again.
Yeah, I agree.
Zach, can we not talk about your definition of greater is different than me and Zane's?
Yeah.
We talked about at the beginning.
We did.
Not just that.
It's astonishing. It's astonishing to me.
You don't trash the golden arm, Zach. The golden arm.
I'm not trashing him. He's on my list. I'm just saying he shouldn't be that high.
He held the record for consecutive touchdowns in a game for 47 years since Drew Brees broke it. For that old man from the 40s.
I just don't.
He didn't play that much in the 40s. It was mostly 50s and 60s. This is why
I think
Learn ball, brother.
Johnny Unitas is better than Bart Starr.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah, Bart Starr up there is weird.
I agree. I agree with Carrie.
Winning matters.
I could have put Bart Starr at 9 or 10. That would have been fair.
Winning matters. Winning matters when it comes to greatness.
I mean, Bart Starr is the 3rd best Packers quarterback of all time. I'd have Favre ahead of him.
I 100% agree with you, Carrie.
All right. All right. Number 4, Trevor.
Sorry.
At number 4.
Oh, Carrie, did you say
only
yours?
Bad thing.
You didn't say yours.
No, I said mine. I had the same as you.
Yeah.
Oh, you had mine, Big
Yes, sir.
boy. Yeah,
Thank you, Jets
you're
Nation.
right. You're right, Jets Nation. That's again.
He's cooking.
Like I said, those 9 and 10 was like heart. It was all heart. It was like yeah. Anyway, it was all heart. Miles and miles of heart.
All right. Trevor?
The only bad thing that this guy ever did was throw picks. It's Drew Brees at number 4. Everything else he did very well. Did for a very long time. Even won a Super Bowl after that hurricane, which, that was greatness. When you can do it after a hurricane like Katrina, how hard.
Shout out to the
Louisiana.
Astros. Shout out to the
Goodness, dude.
Astros. They fucking cheat. Sorry for cursing.
There's probably still some families in that Louisiana that have not recovered from that. So
Hopefully not.
I mean, there definitely are.
just
but
financially.
yeah, there definitely are people that haven't recovered from Katrina. F the Astros. I agree.
I think everybody does.
Except Astros fans.
That's true.
All right.
They're like, it didn't matter. It didn't even end up mattering.
Dude, Wemby might get a what is a 4 double?
Quadruple double.
Quadruple double tonight.
Well, this isn't Beerly Hoops, Trevor.
He has 6 blocks.
It's barely football, brother.
It's really
All right,
cool.
Zach?
Listen to me. All right. At number 4. Number 4 and 3 were very close. Technically, 4 through 8 were pretty close, but 4 and 3 were very close. At number 4, I have Joe Montana. I have Joe Montana at 4. Very, very successful career. I'm just pulling up the stats now here. Very, very successful career. 3-time All-Pro, 2-time AP MVP, 4-time Super Bowl champion, 1989 Offensive Player of the Year, 8-time Pro Bowler, an exceptionally good quarterback, threw for 40,000 yards, 273 touchdowns, 139 interceptions, en route to a 117-47 record on 63% completion percentage. So, exceptionally good quarterback. I feel like all of the stats speak for themselves. Number 4.
All right.
Okay. My number 4 is Peyton Williams Manning.
Zane, we're getting way
Really?
too close now. God.
Really?
I have
Number
Manning.
Peyton Williams Manning.
I have
So
Manning at 4 too.
again, like I
Oh
said,
my God.
I'm not big on this.
You guys are
again,
stupid.
Super Bowls.
Jesus
Super Bowls.
Christ, you guys are dumb. Oh my God.
Why am I dumb?
You guys are so stupid.
You're the one
Okay,
here
keep
arguing
going.
Bart Starr over Johnny Unitas. Like,
Keep
what
going,
the hell?
You're good.
Okay,
Keep going.
So
Keep going.
anyway, again, like I've said, Super Bowls aren't the big thing for me as far as great quarterbacks. I mean, I was really young, obviously, when Johnson won with the Bucks. So it's doesn't really, again, mean a whole lot to me whenever you win Super Bowls as a quarterback. But he did win 2 times. He's 2-time Super Bowl champion. He was the Super Bowl MVP once. He won 5 NFL MVPs in 2003, 2004, 2008, 2009, and 2013. 2-time NFL Offensive Player of the Year. 2012, he won the Comeback Player of the Year. He's a 14-time Pro Bowler. He led the league in passing yards 3 different times, led in passing touchdowns 4 different times, passer rating 3 different times, and then he was the completion percentage leader twice. Right now he holds 3 records. Most passing touchdowns in a season, that's 55. It's 2013. Most passing yards in a season for 5,477, 2013. And he's currently tied for most touchdown passes in a game with 7. So, yep.
All right. Yeah,
That's my guy.
I got Peyton at 4 also. He's a great quarterback. but they always seem to come up short as a Colt going against some other quarterback that we talked about later. And I don't want – this is another thing. We don't need to bring up the rings because his second ring, he was out there on a wheelchair. Come on. He didn't deserve it.
Agreed. I totally agree with you, Kerry.
Smith out there at quarterback. He would want a ring on that Broncos team. Payton did nothing.
I don't know about that. I would have not won that.
Like, he's a great quarterback, but that second ring did absolutely nothing for me. Like, come on.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I agree with you. But that's exactly my point is, like, rings don't matter as much for football. It's not like, I mean, I'm out there with, 11, 10 other guys. You know what I mean? On the field at the same time. So
I think it matters for basketball the most than football.
Yeah, agreed. Because there's less people on the court, right?
Baseball does not really matter at all.
Yeah, agreed.
Mike Trout will never sniff the playoff once in his career.
Yep.
Even though he's one of the best players in the MLB.
Yep.
And one of the best players probably of all time, honestly.
He is.
Maybe. Probably not.
All right,
number 3.
Number 3, I have my sweetheart, my best quarterback of all time, and my favorite Madden quarterback of all time, Aaron Rodgers. Just the real golden arm. I don't know what y'all were talking about earlier, calling somebody else a golden arm. This is the platinum arm. This is the most elite arm we've ever seen. I will glaze this man.
Do you think he could get higher, Trevor?
Glaze this man.
No.
You think
Not enough time left.
All right. Once again, Trevor with his new bias.
All righty.
I think he has a chance to win the Super Bowl.
At number 3, and this guy finished well behind 2 and 1. 2 and 1 are so far separate from the rest of this list. It's kind of crazy. But number 3, it's Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
I don't even have
Aaron
him
Rodgers.
in the top 10.
Aaron Rodgers, 4-time NFL MVP. In the era of the quarterback. He won an MVP in 2011. He won an MVP in 2014. And then he won back-to-back in 2020 and 2021.
Okay.
In 15 seasons as a starter, he has thrown for double-digit interceptions 3 times. He has thrown for over 40 touchdowns twice. No, he's thrown for 40 touchdowns 3 times. He's had as many 40 touchdown seasons as he has double-digit interception seasons. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He is, in my opinion, the best quarterback of all time. But greatness does come with, you gotta be able to win. And for so many years, Green Bay came up short. And that is why he is number 3.
All right. Zane, I'm going to skip you because I feel like you'll have the same one as I do, as always.
No. I promise we won't. Well, I can't promise.
Yeah,
that.
I don't know about
I
that.
will say this. I just moved Aaron Rodgers to replace Michael Vick at number 9.
Thank you.
Thank God.
Because I will say that was
Aaron Rodgers off the top.
That was impressive. What Zach was just saying. I mean, that was the double digits interceptions. That's a wild.
Only 3
stat.
times, and he's had
That's a wild
3
stat.
40 touchdown seasons in that same amount of time.
I like that a lot. A lot.
All right. My number 3? No, skip you, Zane.
My turn. Okay, you go ahead. You go ahead. And then you go ahead.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Jets Nation.
All right. This one I might get some flack for. Might be called an old head, but I have Otto Graham as the 3rd best quarterback of all time.
I don't have Otto Graham on there.
Hey, shout out to Jets Nation. This side of the screen, me and Trev, we know what's up.
10 straight seasons going to the championship. 10. In that time frame, he went 105-17 as a quarterback. He had a winning percentage of 81%. I don't care if it's the 1940s. They watch the highlights. For the 40s, he can throw. And here's the most amazing stat of his career. He's the all-time if you want to talk about how guys in that era couldn't throw, he's still the all-time leader in NFL history in yards per attempt. And if he threw the ball, what's that called? what's it when you throw the ball to the ground? Oh, I'm blanking on it.
Spike.
Yeah, if he spiked the ball 170, if he came out of the grave, went on the field, and spiked the ball 175 straight times, he still would be the all-time NFL leader in yards per attempt with 9 yards. Guys like Brady and Manning's at 7.7, Brady's 7.2. He's at 9 for a guy that played in the 40s and 50s. That is insane.
That's pretty.
Yeah, it's a
impressive.
completely different NFL, but 10 championships in 10 years, winning 7 of those, that's great. It's impossible to compare him with today's quarterbacks, but that is just an insane run for him.
Okay. I
Yeah,
think
we
that's high,
definitely-
but I like the pick.
We definitely don't have the same number 3.
All right, who you got, Zane?
I've got Drew Brees.
Wow.
That's really
Yes, sir.
high. That's
First-
exceptionally high.
The first quarterback to throw for 80,000 yards in NFL history, right? Tom Brady, obviously second. What? What?
You look like Eli Manning.
I look like Eli Manning.
Thank you, Jets Nation.
Saying you look like Eli Manning. Well, I did put my brother Peyton at number 4, so there's no crazy love here. So Drew Brees had 5 seasons of 5,000 yards. Okay, do you want to know? Let's let the panel guess as to what everybody else had combined in NFL history for.
Good. Tell me.
7. This one man had 5 seasons of 5,000 yards. The rest of NFL history had 7 combined. That's everybody.
He threw for a lot of yards.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's not greatness. That it's literally the quarterback's job to throw for yards.
Wait, who did you have at number 4, Zane?
I had Peyton Manning at 4.
I think Breeze and Manning are a lot closer than people think. I wouldn't put Breeze over Manning, but I think it's closer than the general public would say.
I don't think the Super Bowl, again, like I've said before, I don't think the Super Bowl, and they only have a difference of 1, right? I don't think that one Super Bowl changes
The
anything.
second one doesn't count. Come on.
That's what I mean. Is like it doesn't matter as much to me.
Which one?
He had
The
54,
Broncos one.
He had
What do you got
50.
there?
Okay, he had 54 consecutive games with a touchdown pass.
Didn't
That's
he throw
crazy.
53 touchdowns that year? Or was that the
No,
year?
the year before. Then that was the year he sucked. He got benched for Osweiler, then he came back in the Super Bowl and he didn't do anything. But he
Yeah.
won. Von Miller carried away.
Drew Brees also had 571 passing touchdowns. He's the only player in NFL history with consecutive 40-plus touchdown seasons.
Yeah, it's
Like-
pretty good.
Like, I just, how do you not put him in the top 5? I don't know. Ask these
It's
knuckleheads.
not best, it's greatest.
It's just it's such a thin line there, bud. It's such a
All right.
thin line.
It's a
Top
thick
two.
line.
Top 2.
Black ink.
Top 2.
Top 2. Let's go ahead and do top 2 at the same time, just to make
Yeah.
it easy.
What, say it at the same time?
No, it's just at one. So Trevor's gonna say his 1 and 2. I'm gonna say
so
my
mine-
1 and 2. You're gonna say your 1 and 2. Kerry's gonna say his 1 and 2.
My number 1 is Tampa Bay Bucks quarterback Tom Brady. Number 2, Peyton Manning.
Okay.
No recency
Say that. Wait,
bias.
say that again. Say that again. What were they?
Is-
I'm sorry.
His number 1 was Brady. Number 2 is Manning.
No recency bias at all.
No, actually, no.
Number 2 is
You have to be
Brady.
great to be great.
Number 1 is Manning.
Zach, if you put this on best quarterbacks, where would you put Brady?
Best?
Wait, Zach put number 1 as Peyton Manning?
Yes.
Best quarterbacks, where would you put Brady?
Best quarterbacks? I've changed my opinion on this over the years.
What?
He's probably top 3.
Oh, I really wanted to see you put him at 3.
So, Manning at 1. Why Manning at 1? they've been a lot of people on this podcast have been mentioning, oh, that last Super Bowl was fraudulent. Well, I'm so glad you said that, because even without that last Super Bowl, he's still the best quarterback of all time, according to my algorithm.
Did he not get outplayed by Tom Brady pretty much every year?
Because there's no other quarterback in NFL history with 5 MVPs.
Okay.
He's the only one to ever do it. 5 MVPs.
Who gives a shit?
He was the best player in the league for 5 separate years.
Who gives a shit? Zach, was Lamar Jackson the best player in the NFL this year?
Yeah, you're not doing.
Was he?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
he?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Zach. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense based on your own criteria, because you were saying about
You're
all these
basing it on the
accolades.
criteria of writers that vote for it.
Being an MVP is not an accolade. Is that what we're
It
saying?
is an accolade, but there's plenty of other ones.
That's the number
And there's
one
plenty of
reason.
other ones that
Okay.
are. There's plenty of other ones that are objective instead of subjective. The NFL MVP is very subjective.
That is
Okay.
true.
Passing leaders is not a passing leaders, passing yard leaders, passer rating leaders. That's something that's objective, meaning like you don't have to rely on human error to determine the outcome.
Well, first off, you have to rely on human error to determine any outcome in a sporting event, because we have referees, which are human and can and will determine the outcome of games. Shout out to Tom Brady's first championship. Oh, look, I could do it too. Watch me dance
No,
around
he's
like a
kinda
fucking
right with
clown.
that.
Sorry
He's
for
kinda right.
cursing. Listen, you can talk all you want about this stat, that stat, that stat. At the end of the day, we're talking about greatness. When it comes down to it, individual excellence is what determines greatness, not championships necessarily. Tom Brady's won more championships than anybody, but he is also almost never the best player in the NFL in the years that he won the championships.
Subjective. Manning put up better stats a lot of years, but is life all about stats? In the words of Trev Scott, is it? Is stats everything, Zach? It's a bunch of passing yards at the end of the day. Justin Herbert would be the best quarterback in the NFL, right?
He had a terrible season last year. What are we talking about? You bring up the stats and then you bring up Justin Herbert being the best quarterback in the NFL. I think you haven't looked at a stat book in 2 years.
That's just a Trevor line right there. Hey, Tua Tagovailoa would be the best quarterback in the NFL last year.
If we were doing best, Tua might be.
Well, Brock Purdy would be the best quarterback in the NFL last year if we were just looking statistically. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about greatness.
I have no hate for Peyton Manning. I mean, I put him at number 4. I just think that it's crazy to suggest that he's number 1.
He's
won 4 MVPs. Sorry, I misspoke. Sorry, I misspoke when I said 4 MVPs. I'm sorry. That was too low. 5 MVPs, 2 Offensive Players of the Year. Both those times that he won Offensive Player of the Year, he also won the MVP.
Peyton Manning is not better than Joe Montana, but that is arguable. Peyton Manning is definitely not better than Tom Brady. And you have to be part monkey if you believe that.
Okay.
That's all I'll say.
Sex part monkey.
You guys are stupid.
Oh, man. All right, Carrie, you want to say yours?
Yeah,
We know what his is.
Yeah, I got Joe Montana, number 2. Great quarterback, dominated in the playoffs.
Oh, okay. Wins are all that matter, guys. Wins are all that matters.
That's not what he said.
Did I say
Terry
win?
Terry Bradshaw doesn't matter because he had 4 Super Bowls. He
Did
dominated.
I say win, Zach? Did I say win?
He
Did I
said he
say
dominated in the playoffs.
Dominated in the playoffs implies.
I meant like when I said earlier.
Implies
performance.
winning. Implies winning the game.
It implies
Doesn't that go back
performance.
to like what I mentioned earlier when he
It
had
implies performance.
when he threw 125 passes in the Super Bowl without an interception, stuff like that. Does that,
Yeah.
What?
Joe Montana's great, and if Brady didn't exist, he'd be number 1. But Tom Brady came in the door. He saved the day. He brought the Patriots back to glory. He came in there.
It's a great thing. It's a great thing. He always had a
Turn
top
that
10
team
defense
around.
at his back.
And then they
It's a great thing he always had a top 10 defense at his back.
It was a rough time.
Yeah,
Great thing he always
yeah,
had a
Peyton
top.
Manning didn't, right? At the Broncos.
He absolutely didn't. Why do you think?
Peyton Manning
he
had
didn't win
great
more Super
weapons
Bowls?
around him, though.
Yeah.
Listen, every
Brady
Super Bowl,
Brady had better defense, better coaching, but Manning had better weapons. Easily. Edgerrin James, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, Dallas Clark. Brady had Moss for 2 years. He had David Gibbons.
I will say this. I
Okay,
I don't think.
pause.
Can I say
Pause.
this? I don't
If you
think
think-
Amendola. Okay.
Edgerrin James was a better running back than Brady ever had. in his
Why
career.
do you think that the Patriots didn't have great defenses? They absolutely did.
When did I say that?
You said that the Colts
No, he didn't
defenses
say
were
that.
always better.
No, I
No,
said
no,
the
no,
four
no, no, no.
offenses were better.
No,
but the
he said
Patriots-
That's fine. That's not an argument I made. You know what? You know
No,
what?
you
interesting
keep
part
bringing
to
up
the
that the
offense-
Patriots defense is so good, but I'm saying the Colts had a lot better offense at the same point than the Patriots did.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but the difference is okay.
It's still that.
The difference is
You're
the
going to talk
difference
about
is the
Brady and
Patriots.
Benson,
The Patriots' top 10 defense was going up against a top 10 offense, and the Patriots' top 10 offense was going in up against a top 20 defense.
No, it wasn't. Come
Carry.
on. Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis, they had a great defense back in the day.
Name any player on that secondary.
I don't even know.
Slap down! Get out of here, Kerry!
Look it
You
up.
don't know what you're talking about. Congratulations. They could rush the passer. They couldn't cover anybody.
Let's look it up.
Go ahead and look it up.
I can
Go ahead
name
and
one of
look it
those
up,
safeties.
and I'll say mine.
Antoine Bethea.
I'll say mine real quick. So mine was exactly Carey's. It was Joe Montana at number 2 and Tom Brady at number 1. I mean, again, Joe Montana, he's literally legendary. If you ask anybody that's older than us, they'd say that they obviously view him in a higher light than Tom Brady. But I do think Tom Brady, given his wins, given obviously the championships, given the fact that given longevity, given the fact that he was able,
Vontae Davis.
Vontae, he just died, by the way.
Oh, yeah, he did. No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. He just died. He died in his gym, actually.
Was that him?
Yeah, last week.
I saw somebody died.
Yeah, he died in his gym.
Well, rest in peace, Vontae Davis, because he was a good cornerback.
Cheers for Vontae Davis. Everybody raise your glasses.
Yeah. You guys want to list off your top 10 as we wrap it up?
Yeah. Never mind. All right. At number 1, I got Tom Brady. At number 2, I got Peyton Manning. Number 3, I got Aaron Rodgers. At number 4, I got Drew Brees. Number 5, I got Joe Montana. His name was cooler than how great he actually was. Number 6, I got Patrick Mahomes. Number 7, I got Brett Favre. Number 8, Dan Marino. Number 9, Otto Graham or whatever. And number 10, Johnny Unitas, just his respect for the older generation who is still with us.
I thought you said Otto Graham was on there.
I took John Elway out because he didn't give Tebow another contract.
All right, I got number 1, Brady. Number 2, Montana. Number 3, Otto Graham. Number 4, Peyton Manning. 5, Johnny Unitas. 6, Aaron Rodgers. 7, Dan Marino. 8, Patrick Mahomes. 9, Drew Brees. 10, Steve Young.
All right. I'll go. I got number 1, Tom Brady. Number 2, Joe Montana. Number 3, Drew Brees. Number 4, Peyton Manning. Number 5, Johnny U. Number 6, Dan Marino. Number 7, Patrick Mahomes. Number 8, Steve Young. Number 9, Aaron Rodgers. And number 10, Otto Graham.
All right. Number 1, I got Peyton Manning. Number 2, I got Tom Brady. Number 3, I got Aaron Rodgers. Number 4, I got Joe Montana. Number 5, I got Brett Favre. Number 6, I have Patrick Mahomes. Number 7, I have Steve Young. Number 8, I have Bart Starr. Number 9, I have Johnny Unitas. Number 10, I have Terry Bradshaw.
All right. All right, let's do a little rapid fire before we wrap things up. We didn't do it last week. Follow us on Twitter, Billy Football. See all these questions every day. Name a random former Steelers player. Plaxico Burress.
Oh, he stole mine.
Marquise Pouncey. Actually,
Alan
Marcus-
Fanecka. Alan Fanecka.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, it was.
Terry Bradshaw.
Who will have the best record among these teams next season? Falcons, Browns, Rams, Jaguars. I'm going Falcons. Captain Kirk, baby.
Browns.
I'm going to say Rams because I hope it's not the Falcons because obviously they're in our division.
What was the question? I didn't hear it.
Best
I was still
record.
looking up the stats.
Best record among these teams: Falcons, Jaguars, Browns, Rams.
Falcons.
Who's the best QB wide receiver duo in the NFL right now?
QB
So-
wide receiver duo.
I'm going Burrow and Chase still.
Probably.
Tyreek
Yeah.
Hill, Tua.
I agree with the Burrow Chase.
Baker Evans.
Beautiful, Zane. All right. Pick one in their prime. Demaryius Thomas, AJ Green, T.Y. Hilton, DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins. What are we doing?
AJ Green.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Zach is just way behind today.
Sorry,
is.
I'm looking up the stats. It's impossible to find this.
We're skipping you then.
Well, no,
Who's
what
the
was
most-
the question? What was the question?
Who's the most?
What was the question? I'm
who's
not
the
going to
most-
let you finish. Tell me the question.
Pick one
And
in
I'll
their
stop
prime.
looking up the stats.
Demaryius Thomas, AJ Green, T.Y. Hilton, DeAndre Hopkins. Rapid.
I'm going
Rapid.
Hopkins.
Who's the most overrated quarterback of all time? It's Joe Namath, sadly.
Sadly, it's not Joe Namath, but it's another quarterback from New York. Eli Manning, baby.
How is he overrated? I think he's rated pretty poorly, right?
I'm
No,
gonna say DJ Ukulele.
everyone thinks he's like
People like him?
two-time Super Bowl champion. Yeah,
People like him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I just don't live in New York. Maybe that's why. I
All
don't
right.
know.
Listen, I talk a lot about Tom Brady getting carried by defenses. No one's been dragged over the finish line like Eli Manning has.
I'm saying Bart Starr.
All right. How long should a team give a first-round pick quarterback until they move on? I
However
would
long
say
they feel like.
2 to 3
How long?
years.
What? How long?
Depends.
How long should they give a team give a first-round pick rookie quarterback until they move on? 2 to 3 years for me.
What? 3 years. Yeah, 2 to 3 years. That's
Depends on the situation.
Say something nice about this team, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hold
They
on,
made
I
the
can
Super-
think of something.
Their fan base is eccentric.
They made the Super Bowl once.
They got some sexy fans.
The city of brotherly love.
Who is the best college quarterback here? Tebow, Manziel, Baker, Mariota, Burrow, Cam. Tebow.
It's not close.
Cam.
If you guys say anything other than the correct answer, it's not.
It's Cam
Tebow.
Newton.
Tebow is the greatest, but the best is either Cam Newton or Joe Burrow.
Cam Newton.
It's Cam Newton, not close.
That's not even
Next
close. If you
question.
remember, if you go back and watch highlights, it's literally not close. No,
It's
no,
not
Super
close.
Jacks. It's not
No.
Tebow.
Listen,
not-
this is
They're
how.
Miami fans. They're Miami fans.
What does that even
that's-
mean?
That doesn't
No,
even
they
mean
hate
anything.
Florida. They hate Florida.
No, we don't.
No,
We literally
I
hate
love
Florida
Tebow.
State.
I love Tebow, but listen, Tebow had NFL players on that roster at Florida.
Yes.
A lot of them. You know how
A
many
lot of
NFL
NFL
players
players on
Cam
that
Newton had
roster.
on his roster?
Yes.
Sure.
Zero.
So true.
And he
So
won a
true.
national championship.
Dude, on his
That's
back.
impossible.
Oh, dude.
All right, last couple.
Not even
What is the biggest what if for your favorite NFL team? So mine would be Aaron Hernandez if he didn't, go murder for the Patriots. That would be nice.
What if? I love
Also, if Asante Samuel could catch that interception, but nope.
What if, man? What if the Jags had drafted Tyrod Taylor?
Winning Super Bowls now.
What if the Bucks, instead of drafting Jameis, had drafted Mariota? I
Then
always
they-
wonder what would have
Then
happened.
they wouldn't have won a Super Bowl.
How do you figure?
Wouldn't have got Brady, probably.
We could have still gotten Brady if that was such a long time ago. I would have loved to seen, because I think Mariota's a lot more
Mediocre.
No. He's not as great as Jameis when it comes to like spur the moment stuff, but at least
What
as
is
far
Zach
as
Wilson banned out?
There's still hope.
Zach Wilson had fanned out. I love that. That's awesome.
All right. How many elite
Dude, if
quarterbacks?
I'm not
are you
kidding
right
you,
now?
if Tyrod Taylor were got drafted by the Jaguars, oh
That would've been so
God,
happy.
I would
What
cry.
would you say, Kerry?
How many elite quarterbacks are in the NFL right now? I'm gonna go with 4. Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar for me.
I can't believe
Elite.
you're saying
I'm gonna go
Burrow.
two.
Standards.
I'm gonna say 3.
Say 2.
Trevor.
2.5.
All right. Last 3 questions. Who is Bo Nix's NFL comparison? I'm gonna say Alex Smith.
Really?
Say
Yes.
NFL comparison for Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
Matt Ryan.
EJ Manuel.
Geno Smith.
Oh, that's great.
We got
Look here we are.
back-to-back Trevor Lawrence questions to wrap it up. If they
Hmm.
all win in the same draft, which quarterback would you take it? Andrew Luck, Trevor Lawrence, Caleb Williams. It's Andrew Luck.
Probably Luck.
Luck.
Only Trevor would say Williams. And he
Maybe
probably-
Caleb Williams, but probably Andrew Luck.
Smart. All right, last one. Who's the best quarterback here? Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, Baker Mayfield.
The best quarterback. Go again.
Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, Baker Mayfield.
The best quarterback in that group is Trevor Lawrence.
Sadly, I agree.
Baker's gonna bake. No, I'm just kidding. It's Trevor Lawrence.
I'm going Brock Purdy.
God, I
Really?
hate
Over
you.
Goff.
Really? Would that? I mean, I don't know.
Lawrence-
Look at this. Look at this. This was the Niners team in the championship. They went, Brock Purdy, come on! And the
I mean, he
finish
didn't
line's
do-
like 50 feet away.
I don't
and they
think he
didn't
did-
get there.
What was Trevor
didn't do
Lawrence
too
doing,
bad.
man? What was Trevor Lawrence doing, man? Or in the playoffs, or like anything.
Huh?
He wasn't there. He was at
Trevor
home
Lawrence
watching.
was busy on his couch with Justin Herbert. And
He's watching.
Yes.
Okay.
right?
You
All
said
from-
best. You said best.
All right. Follow us on Twitter, Really Football. Tweet those every day. Check us out.
Facts, Jets Nation. He does hate Trevor Lawrence.
I love Trevor Lawrence. I just expect more from him.
He expects more.
Okay, Trevor and Justin Herbert.
I was right. I cooked him. And if Stephon Diggs leaves, I'm going to cook Josh Allen.
Why? Because Stephon Diggs can't catch a ball right in the breadbasket.
Stephon Diggs
win
is
the
the only
game?
reason that Josh Allen's still in the NFL. He revived his career. He revived his career. He was-
Revived his
Stephon Diggs
career?
not there.
Dude,
He helped his,
What are we
Trevor.
talking
He helped
about,
his
dude?
career
what
a
are
lot.
you doing?
He was a bust before Diggs got there.
What a statement.
I love the
What
Jets
absolute
Nation. There.
nonsense. Okay.
Jets Nation quote: "The year is 2063,
That
and the
was
T Lot breakout season is here."
That's a
that
Trevor. That's a
That
carry.
was a Carey tweet.
Yeah.
Follow me on Twitter, Really Carey. All my plugs.
Anything you guys want to plug before we?
Nope.
No, if you haven't,
just barely OB, baby. Just
Oh, yeah. You
Follow
guys
the
going to talk
Billy
about the
OB.
Masters?
leave us.
We are.
rating
Yeah, we're
and
doing
talking about
Masters
Masters.
week next week.
I got money on
Masters
Brooks
next
Koepka.
I like it,
that would be.
but I'm
cool.
probably not with you on that one. Just gonna be honest.
Where are you at, Zach? Who are you thinking?
I'll
think
tell
of
you
the-
on the podcast. You're gonna
the
have to listen.
The Shackles? Okay. All right.
Zach already told
All
me.
right. Alrighty.
See you guys.
I'm gonna plug the store because we haven't plugged it yet. We got merch in the store, brand new
Dude.
merch.
Yes, they look cool, dude. I love the Beerly OB stuff. I mean, the Beerly football stuff's
It's
good
so
too, but
cute. The little
I
vintage
love
one.
it,
I want the
dude.
sweater.
I love it.
They
look
come
so
in all
dope.
different colors. So like, oh, I want to pick up a Beerly football, the football Beerly boy shirt. Oh, but like I really don't want white. Oh, we got all these pastel colors like olive green,
Yeah,
banana cream,
they look cool.
mauve, fancy,
Wow.
and gold. Look at all these fancy pastels, man.
Say it
And
like
you-
Christopher Walken.
Today for just $24.99. actually even cheaper if you use code retro at checkout for 15% off. We got lots of great stuff on the store. Make sure you check it out. Link is down in the description below. I'm Beerly Zach. This has been the Beerly Football Podcast. It's been a great Tuesday. What's up, brother? You guys have a good evening. You guys fucking rock. Sorry for cursing. We'll see you next time.